years, you've carried an idea of yourself, a belief, a label, a story that you repeat in your mind. Maybe you've told yourself, I'm not good enough, I'm not lovable, I'll never succeed. But let me remind you today, you are not what you think you are. Your thoughts are simply habits, patterns formed over time, but just because you've believed something for years doesn't mean it's true. It's time to strip away the falsehoods and see yourself as you truly are, powerful, radiant, and whole. Your thoughts are not always true. This is one of the most liberating truths you can embrace. For so long, you have believed every thought that passes through your mind, assuming that because you think it, it must be real. But the mind is like a storyteller, weaving narratives based on past experiences, fears, and conditioning. Just because a thought arises does not mean it holds any truth or power unless you choose to believe it. Consider how often your mind has told you things that have held you back. You've had moments where you convinced yourself you weren't good enough, weren't lovable, or weren't capable of success. Yet, if you look at your life, you'll see that these beliefs were never absolute truths. They were simply thoughts, often shaped by external influences. Perhaps a childhood experience made you believe you weren't smart, or a past relationship left you feeling unworthy of love. But was that ever the truth? Or was it just a moment in time, interpreted through the lens of pain? The mind tends to collect evidence for what it already believes. If you think you are a failure, your mind will magnify every mistake while ignoring all the successes. If you believe you are unlovable, you will unconsciously focus on the times you felt rejected rather than the moments where love surrounded you. But the reality is, your mind is biased. It is not an objective judge of who you are. It is simply a recorder of past experiences, and it repeats what it has learned over time. Now, think about this. If your thoughts were always true, then every negative prediction you've ever had would have come to pass. But how many times have you worried about something that never actually happened? How many times have you assumed the worst, only to later realize that your fears were exaggerated? The mind often creates unnecessary suffering by imagining worst-case scenarios that never become reality. This is because the mind is designed to protect you. It looks for danger, even when none exists. It is time to free yourself from the prison of unquestioned thoughts. You are not at the mercy of your mind. You have the power to step back, observe, and choose which thoughts you will give energy to. Imagine your thoughts like clouds passing in the sky. Some are light and uplifting, while others are dark and heavy. But no matter how intense a storm may seem, the sky behind it remains untouched. You are that sky, vast, infinite, and unaffected by the temporary nature of thoughts. One of the most effective ways to reclaim your power is to begin questioning your thoughts. The next time a thought tells you that you are not enough, ask yourself, is this absolutely true? Where did this belief come from? Do I have any evidence that contradicts this thought? When you start questioning the validity of your thoughts, you weaken their grip over you. Think of a time when you felt insecure about yourself, only to later realize you had no reason to feel that way. Perhaps you assumed someone disliked you, only to find out later that they admired you. Or maybe you believed you weren't capable of a certain achievement, but when you pushed forward, you proved yourself wrong. These moments are reminders that thoughts are not facts. They are interpretations, and interpretations can be changed. The beauty of being human is that you are not stuck with the thoughts you have now. You have the ability to create new ones, to shift your focus, and to choose what you believe. Just as you can train your body, you can train your mind to think thoughts that empower you rather than limit you. When a thought arises that brings fear, doubt, or shame, you can choose to replace it with a thought that lifts you up. Start by practicing affirmations. These are not just empty words, they are tools that help rewire your mind. Instead of repeating the same old negative thoughts, affirm new beliefs. I am worthy. I am loved. I am capable. At first, your mind may resist. It may argue. It may try to pull you back into old patterns. But with consistency, new thoughts become new beliefs, and new beliefs create a new reality. You have spent years believing thoughts that have limited you, but now you have the opportunity to believe thoughts that empower you, thoughts that remind you of your strength, your worth, and your infinite potential. Let go of the idea that every thought you have is true. They are just passing visitors in your mind. You do not have to entertain them all. Choose the ones that serve you. Choose the ones that set you free. Your past is a story, a collection of experiences, but it is not your identity. You have lived through moments of joy and pain, success and failure, love and loss, but none of these define who you are at your core. You are more than what has happened to you. You are more than the mistakes you have made, more than the heartbreak you've endured, and more than the circumstances that shaped you. Too often people carry their past like a heavy burden, believing that what has been will always be. They replay old wounds in their minds, reliving the pain as if it were happening all over again. But the past is not here anymore. It exists only in memory, in the thoughts you choose to focus on. If you constantly look backward, you will miss the beauty of the present and the possibilities of the future. Perhaps you have been told that you are a product of your past, that your history determines your destiny. But that is not true. Your past may have influenced you, but it does not define you. Every moment you are changing, evolving, and becoming something new. Just as the river is never the same from one moment to the next, you are constantly in motion, capable of rewriting your story at any time. Think about the most painful experiences of your life. Maybe someone betrayed you, or you lost something precious. Maybe you failed at something important, and it made you doubt yourself. It is easy to believe that these moments are permanent scars, that they have left you broken or unworthy. But pain does not diminish you. It refines you. Every struggle you have faced has given you strength, wisdom, and resilience. You are not your wounds, you are the healing. Your past may explain where you have been, but it does not dictate where you are going. There are people who have risen from nothing, from hardship and despair, to create lives filled with abundance and joy. And there are those who had everything but let their past fears and regrets hold them back. The difference is not in what happened to them. It is in what they chose to believe about themselves. Let go of the belief that the past has power over you. You are the one who gives it meaning. If you tell yourself that you will never overcome your past, that you will always carry the same pain, then that becomes your reality. But if you decide that you are greater than what has happened to you, that you can rise beyond it, then nothing can hold you back. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful ways to free yourself from the past. This does not mean that what happened was okay or that you have to forget. It means that you no longer allow it to control you. When you forgive, whether it is yourself or someone else, you release the chains that keep you stuck. You step into a new energy, one that allows healing and growth. Every day you have a choice. You can continue carrying the weight of what has been, or you can step into the truth of who you are. Someone with infinite potential. Someone who is always capable of starting anew. There is no rule that says you must be who you were yesterday. You can decide right now that you are stepping into a new version of yourself, one that is no longer defined by past mistakes or limitations. Think of nature. The tree that loses its leaves in autumn does not cling to them, mourning what it has lost. It knows that new life will come in the spring. You, too, are capable of renewal. No matter how much you have struggled, no matter how much you have lost, you can always begin again. Your past is not your prison. It is a lesson, a stepping stone, a chapter in your book, but it is not the whole story. The most beautiful pages are still unwritten. Release the weight of what has been, embrace the power of what is, and step boldly into the limitless possibilities of who you are becoming. The world is full of labels. From the moment you are born, society, family, and even your own mind try to define you. Labels based on where you come from, what you look like, what you do, or mistakes you have made. Some of these labels may seem harmless, while others may have been placed on you with judgment, limiting your potential and shaping the way you see yourself. But no matter what labels have been given to you, whether by others or by yourself, you must understand one thing. Labels do not define you. You are far more than a word, a title, or a category. Labels are nothing more than descriptions created by the human mind to simplify things, to organize, to classify. But you are not something to be classified. You are a living, evolving being, constantly changing, growing, and becoming. No single word or phrase can ever capture the fullness of who you are. Perhaps you've been called something that made you feel small, failure, unworthy, not good enough. Maybe you were told you were too much or not enough. Maybe you've even accepted these labels as truth, carrying them like heavy stones on your back. But ask yourself, who decided this label was true? Was it based on one moment in time, one mistake, one struggle? Even if a label may have seemed true at one point, does that mean it must remain true forever? Consider how often labels change. The child who struggled in school may grow up to be a great teacher. The person who was once quiet may become a powerful speaker. The one who was labeled broken may become the one who heals others. Labels are temporary, but the spirit within you is limitless. People may try to put you into a box because it makes them feel more comfortable. They may label you based on your past, your job, your appearance, or your beliefs. But none of these things can capture the essence of who you are. You are not a single moment. You are not a mistake. You are not just your job, your past relationships, or your struggles. You are something much greater. The most dangerous labels are the ones you give yourself. Pay attention to how you speak to yourself. Do you say things like, I am not smart enough, I am unlucky in love, or I always fail? These are not truths. These are simply repeated thoughts that have become beliefs. And the good news is, just as you once accepted a limiting belief, you can replace it with a new one. Instead of saying, I always fail, begin to say, I am learning and growing every day. Instead of saying, I am unworthy of love, remind yourself, I am deserving of love in all its forms. Words hold power, and the labels you choose for yourself shape the life you create. Let go of any label that limits you. If someone once told you that you are not enough, release that thought. If you have been defined by a past mistake, forgive yourself and move forward. You are not your past. You are not your failures. You are not what someone else thinks of you. You are infinite possibility. You are strength. You are wisdom. You are love. When you stop allowing labels to define you, you set yourself free. You free yourself from the expectations of others. You free yourself from the limitations placed upon you. You give yourself permission to grow, to evolve, to step into the fullness of your potential. Every day you have the chance to redefine yourself, to decide who you are, to step beyond the words and judgments of the past. You are not here to fit into someone else's definition of who you should be. You are here to create your own path, to shine in your own unique way. So release the labels, release the limits. You are not a word, not a category, not a definition. You are something far greater, a soul, ever expanding, ever becoming, and completely free. You are more than what you see in the mirror. You are more than flesh and bone, more than your physical form. At your core, you are energy, pure, limitless, and ever expanding. Your body is simply the vessel through which your energy flows, allowing you to experience life in this physical world. But your true essence is something far greater, something that cannot be touched, weighed, or measured. Everything in the universe is made of energy, vibrating at different frequencies. The sun, the trees, the ocean, even the chair you sit on, all are energy in motion. And so are you. Your thoughts, your emotions, your very presence radiate energy, shaping the reality around you. When you understand this, you begin to see yourself differently. You begin to realize that you are not limited to what your eyes can perceive. You are a force, a presence, a vibration that has the power to create, heal, and transform. Too often, people identify only with their physical self. They focus on what they look like, what they own, or how others perceive them. But this is an illusion. Your body is temporary. It changes, it ages, it evolves. But the energy within you is eternal. It existed before you were born, and it will continue long after this physical life. When you shift your focus from the material to the energetic, you awaken to your true nature. You realize that you are connected to everything, that you are not separate from the universe, but a part of its infinite dance. Your energy is shaped by your thoughts and emotions. When you fill your mind with love, gratitude, and joy, your energy vibrates at a high frequency, attracting more of the same into your life. When you dwell in fear, doubt, or resentment, your energy lowers, creating blockages that prevent you from experiencing the fullness of life. This is why it is so important to be mindful of what you think, what you feel, and what you allow into your heart. Every thought is an energy wave sending ripples into the universe. What you focus on expands, and what you believe shapes the reality you live in. Have you ever walked into a room and felt a certain energy, even before anyone spoke? Maybe the air felt heavy, or perhaps it was filled with warmth and light. This is because energy is always present, always communicating beyond words. You too emit an energy that others can feel. When you carry peace within you, you uplift those around you. When you walk in confidence, you inspire others to do the same. You are a transmitter of energy, constantly influencing and being influenced by the world around you. Because you are energy, you are not bound by physical limitations. You have the ability to shift your state, to raise your vibration, to align yourself with the highest frequencies of love, abundance, and healing. When you meditate, when you breathe deeply, when you speak words of kindness, you are tuning into your true nature. You are stepping beyond the physical and into the realm of the limitless. Think about how your energy responds to different experiences. When you listen to music that moves you, your energy shifts. When you spend time with someone who uplifts you, your entire being feels lighter. When you follow your passion, your energy expands, filling you with a sense of purpose and vitality. This is the power of alignment. When your energy resonates with the truth of who you are, everything flows effortlessly. But when you resist, when you cling to negativity, when you hold on to past wounds, your energy becomes blocked. You feel tired, stuck, disconnected. This is why it is so important to clear your energy, to release what no longer serves you, to let go of the thoughts and emotions that weigh you down. You are not meant to be heavy. You are meant to be light, to move freely, to radiate the highest expression of your being. You are not just a body. You are a vibration, a frequency, a wave of pure potential. When you embrace this truth, you begin to live differently. You stop fearing change because you know that energy is always shifting. You stop seeking validation from the outside world because you understand that your energy speaks louder than words. You stop seeing yourself as small because you realize that you are part of something infinite. Your energy is your power. It is your essence. It is the truth of who you are. When you nurture it, protect it, and elevate it, you become unstoppable. You become a beacon of light in a world that needs your radiance. So step beyond the physical. Step into your true nature and remember, you are energy, limitless and free. Change is not something that happens in the distant future. It does not require waiting for the perfect moment, the right circumstances, or someone else's permission. The power to change begins now, in this very moment, with the choices you make and the thoughts you choose to embrace. You are not bound by your past, nor are you defined by what has happened to you. At any point, you have the power to shift, to grow, to become something new. The only thing standing between you and the life you desire is the belief that you must wait to begin. So many people delay change. They tell themselves, I'll start tomorrow. I'll be ready when things settle down. I'll change when the time is right. But the truth is, there is no perfect time. There is only now. Right now, you have the ability to take one step, to think one new thought, to break one old pattern. Change does not happen overnight, but it begins in an instant, the instant you decide that you are ready. You may have spent years believing that change is difficult, that it takes too much effort, or that you are not strong enough to make it happen. But that is just a story you have told yourself for so long that it feels like truth. The real truth is that change is always available to you. It is not a mountain you must climb in one day. It is a path that you walk, one step at a time. The first step to change is awareness. You must become aware of the patterns that no longer serve you, the thoughts that hold you back, the fears that keep you stuck. When you recognize these things, you take back your power. You stop running on autopilot and start making conscious choices. The second step is belief. You must believe that you are capable of change, that you are worthy of something better, that you have the power to create a new reality. Without belief, change feels impossible. But with belief, even the smallest shift can lead to transformation. The third step is action. Change is not just a decision. It is a practice. It requires doing things differently, even when it feels uncomfortable. It means letting go of old habits, even when they feel familiar. It means stepping into the unknown, even when it feels scary. But every time you take action, no matter how small, you prove to yourself that change is possible. And what happens when you begin to change? You start to see yourself differently. You start to trust yourself more. You begin to realize that you are not a prisoner of your past or a victim of your circumstances. You are a creator. You have the power to shape your life in any way you choose. There will be moments when doubt creeps in, when you question whether you are strong enough, whether change is really possible. But remember this: you do not have to be perfect. You do not have to have everything figured out. You only need to take one step toward a better thought, a better choice, a better life. Everything you desire, more confidence, more peace, more success, more love, begins with the decision to change. And that decision is yours to make right here, right now. Not tomorrow, not next week. So what will you choose? Will you choose to remain in the same patterns, repeating the same stories, living the same life? Or will you choose to believe in your power, to trust that you are capable of more. The power to change is not in some distant future. It is not in the hands of someone else. It is within you at this very moment. And the moment you decide to embrace it, your entire world begins to shift. There is a version of you that exists beyond fear, beyond doubt, beyond the limitations you have placed upon yourself. This is your true self, the self that is free, powerful, and full of light. It is not something you need to create. It is already within you, waiting to be uncovered, waiting to be remembered. It's a remembered. For so long, you may have been taught to be someone other than who you truly are. You have been shaped by expectations, by experiences, by the voices of others telling you who you should be. And over time, you may have started believing those voices. You may have thought that you had to fit a certain mold, follow a specific path, or suppress parts of yourself in order to be accepted. But deep down, something inside of you has always known the truth. You are more than the roles you play. You are more than the stories you tell yourself. You are something vast, something limitless, something sacred. Your true self has never disappeared. It has never been lost. It has only been waiting for you to turn inward, to listen, to reconnect. The more you strip away the layers of fear, self-doubt, and conditioning, the more clearly you will see who you really are. And when you do, you will realize that you were never broken, never lacking, never incomplete. You were always whole. So how do you return to your true self? How do you step into the fullness of who you are meant to be? It begins with awareness. You must begin to notice the thoughts and beliefs that keep you small. You must recognize the ways in which you have held yourself back, the ways in which you have dimmed your light to make others comfortable. When you become aware of these patterns, you can begin to release them. You can begin to choose differently. The next step is self-acceptance. To meet your true self, you must be willing to embrace all parts of you, the light and the dark, the strengths and the weaknesses, the beauty and the imperfections. There is nothing wrong with you. There never was. You are worthy as you are. You do not need to prove yourself, change yourself, or become someone else in order to be enough. You have always been enough. And then comes trust. Trust that who you are at your core is more powerful than any challenge you face. Trust that your intuition, your inner wisdom is guiding you exactly where you need to be. When you stop seeking approval from the outside world and start listening to your own soul, you will find a peace that cannot be shaken. The world may try to tell you that you need to be more, do more, have more. But your true self does not live in the external world. It is not found in titles, possessions, or achievements. It is found in stillness. It is found in self-love. It is found in the moments when you feel completely at peace, when you are doing what lights you up, when you are connected to something greater than yourself. Your true self is not waiting for permission. It is not waiting for the perfect circumstances. It is not waiting for a future version of you to finally be ready. It is here, now, always present. The only thing you need to do is allow it to emerge. So let go of the need to be who the world expects you to be. Let go of the fear that tells you you are not enough. Let go of the stories that keep you small. Step into the truth of who you are. Honor yourself. Love yourself. Trust yourself. Because when you do, you will find that everything you have been searching for has been within you all along. Your true self is waiting. And it is time to come home. Breathe in deeply. Feel the truth of these words settle into your soul. I release the false beliefs that no longer serve me. I step into my power. I am more than my thoughts, more than my past. I am infinite possibility. Now go forward with confidence, knowing that you are not what you think you are. You are so much more. Your true self has always been within you, waiting to shine. Embrace it, trust it, and let it guide you home.